Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Delta Entertainment. I am your host, Liquor Kenobi. And before we get started, we'd like you guys to please hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel. Would appreciate that very, very much. I'm sorry I'm taking a little long trying to get these videos up, but I've been looking at my progress, what's been going on so far in my yard, getting rid of the trees. So it's been looking great right now. But I got work to do here. Let's continue on. So, progress on Snow White movie. Snow White weekend has been a disaster. It has been nothing but a disaster. So let's open up this article and I'm going to show you how bad it's been. So here we go. China rejects Snow White after years of Disney pandering to the CCP. The message is clear. Snow White sucks. The remake sucks. What these Disney chills, these people that got hired by Disney to go in there and make positive reviews can kiss it. The movie sucks. I'm sorry. It's not just because of Rachel Zegler's political nonsense. It's because the way Disney adapted the movie. It sucks. They've made huge mistakes on this movie, on the progress of what it's doing, and making more obscure budgets of this. But then also, Rachel Zegler, who could not keep his mouth shut, has made this movie a massive failure, bro. And during the time, she is calling it a success. She's cheering it on, making it think of it as a success. If it was a huge success, ask yourself this question. Why is it that this movie so far made a total of 88,000 worldwide? Why? It hasn't even made 100 million yet. I meant a million, not 1,000. I know what I said. It hasn't even made 100 million yet. So let's see what the second weekend does. Because the results on Monday, and I'll show you Monday's result, which I got to pull it up right now here. So here we go. I'm going to show you Monday. Here's Monday's result. 2,514,000. It made less on Monday. Now the weekend, I'll give it the weekend, it made 15 to 10,000. But still, if this movie was a huge success, this movie would have made money. It would have made money with no problem, and it hasn't. So that's how bad the movie is. That's how bad this movie's been. So let's read this article and see what is going on with it. So here we go. For a decade, Disney has gone out of its way to court China's box office, from altering content to fit the demands of Chinese censors, to restructuring storylines, casting decisions, and even marketing campaigns for maximum appeal in Beijing. Disney has treated China like a golden goose, but with the catastrophic failure of Snow White at the Chinese box office, the strategy appears to have officially collapsed. Despite being one of the most iconic fairy tales in Disney's arsenal, Snow White earned a mere 880,000 on its current opening weekend in China. The current projection from Chinese ticketing platform Maoyan suggests it will struggle to reach even 11.79 Chinese dollars, around 1.6 million USD total. For comparison, 2023's underperforming of The Little Mermaid grossed over 26 million of their euros. That's 3.7 million USD dollars. And even that was viewed as a major letdown. In other words, the Chinese audience has spoken and they rejected Snow White outright. The end of a one-sided relationship. This isn't just another poor performance. This is the most glaring example yet that Disney's pandering to China no longer works. And worse, it's starting to backfire. For years, Disney adjusted its global strategy to align with the Chinese government ever-shifting red lines. They trimmed references the same sex romance themes, minimized political sensitive content, and even removed black actors from posters to avoid controversy, like Star Wars The Force Awakens and Black Panther. They did that. If you remember, for Finn in China, they made his appearance smaller than the US when they made it bigger. And in Black Panther movie, with Chadwick Boseman, God rest his soul, in American, they showed his face and everything. But in China, they had his mask on. So that tells you that China, man, they don't respect it, man. When Mulan released in 2020, Disney leaned heavily into traditional Chinese iconography, casting Chinese actors, highlighting cultural rituals, and filming in regions that tie to the CCP, sparking its own backlash in the West. But now, after sacrificing creative integrity and the Western goodwill for years, Disney is learning the hard way that China's moviegoers don't want shallow Western ideology parroting as progress either. China's Snow White backlash, not about race, about authenticity. The Chinese reception to Snow White was summed with the articulate and thoughtful the criticism. Chinese reviews on Douban and media analysis speaking to the Global Times aren't attacking this diversity itself, as some might have expected. They're attacking insincerity, narrative incoherence, and cultural revisionism. The decision to rewrite Snow White's origin, changing skin as white as snow to survive a blizzard, confused audiences who've grown up with the classic visual symbolism. Rachel Zegler's casting wasn't controversial because of her ethnicity. It was because Chinese audiences apparently saw it as a deliberate rejection of the established character, done for optics rather than the story. The film's attempt to force a girl boss narrative onto the existing fairy tale structuring also created contradictions. She wears a necklace proclaiming she's brave and true, but still gets poisoned, flees danger, and is saved by a man. I mean, My Nerdy Home, Stephanie from My Nerdy Home, she talked about it, gave it the full details of what was going on with this movie, and it is just terrible. The movie was just terrible. You know? I didn't watch this movie because I don't want to waste my money for it. And I've read reviews, I've read the highlights, I've read the stories. I looked into these stories of what was going on with it, so I'm not going to waste my money for this, man. But I am so happy that this movie has failed completely. Disney needs a wake-up call. They need to learn that they need to stop with this nonsense, Bo. And start respecting the fans and respecting the original source. If not, this movie is going to fail very badly, bro. And like I said, dude, I don't need to read any more. This is going to tell you real bad details of what is going on with this movie. So, like I said, dude, Disney needs to get their stuff together, bro. They need to get it together. If not, it's going to fail. Right now, so far, we got Thunderbolts coming out soon. And then we got Fantastic Four coming out. Now, what do you think? Do you think these movies are going to succeed? Don't know. You also have Lilo Stitch coming out soon. So we'll see. Maybe the Lilo Stitch will turn things around. It'll make the money. But will it turn around and realize that that's what the fans want? They want entertainment. They want a good story. They don't want no messaging. They don't want no girl boss. You don't want any of that. Get a good story out there. If you can't get a good story, then get out. Get out while you can, bro. So that's gonna be it for this article. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. So please share this video, post a comment below. Let me know your thoughts about this. Have you guys seen Snow White yet? Do you think it's going to be an absolute failure? Do you think it would even reach 200 million? I don't think it won't. If it does, good for them, but it still needs about 600 to 800 million to get into its budget. because its budget is 350 million. It needs about 800 to break even, bro. So you guys let me know in the comments, what do you think? All right, as always, thank you all so much, and I will see you all until next time. Bye for now.